Hello, it is day 4 of my YouTube challenge, and I have to apologise straight away because it is really windy right now. So that's a little bit annoying. I have spent the day doing various bits and pieces, and I've now come out to film, and now it's windy. But you know, I can't complain about everything, so I'm hoping that you can actually really hear me well, and I apologise if you can't. But let me get into today's video. I've got my notes here because there's something that I want to read out, and I want to make sure that I don't get it wrong. So I think it's really important that I get it said in the right way. And today's title is, what is my today's title? The #1 secret to being successful. So there is only one thing, in my opinion, that leads to really great success. And I'm going to be talking about that one thing today in this video. So the one thing that makes you successful, the one thing that leads to success is, drum roll please, you. Being unique, being uniquely you, being one of a kind. Now, without a doubt, that is the only thing that makes you successful. It's the only thing that sets you apart from everybody else, that sets you apart from the rest. And you don't have to compete. Yeah, okay, you might think you're competing because if you apply for a job, you have to put your application in, and it's, you know, lots and lots of people are looking for that exact same role, and then it may just be a case that you're the lucky one, for example, that gets picked out of all of those people. But ultimately, when you get that role, it is all down to you and you personally, and how you operate in that role, that makes you a success. And being you and not copying anyone and not trying to be like anybody else is ultimately what makes you successful. You can't be anybody else because, like the saying goes, everybody else is taken, so you might as well just accept who you are and go with the flow. Go with who you've been created to be. Go with all your quirkiness and your weird self and your bad self, and go on and do the thing that you need to do, because the world is waiting for you to do the thing the way that you do it, and only you can do it your way, essentially. So the word unique means bespoke, unlike any other, distinctive, individual, special, reading from my notes, quirky, I like the word quirky, single as in singular, no one else like you, exclusive, the one and only, rare, unusual, a one-off, and unrepeatable. So you are all of those things, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not, you are all of those things. And when you really step into who you are, and you own who you are, and you own your value, and you own your uniqueness, you will be sought after, because ultimately you are priceless, absolutely priceless. You are expensive, exclusive, all the good stuff, essential, vital. No one else can do what it is that you have been created to do. Have I said that? Have you heard that? No one else can do what you have been created to do. They can do something similar, but they'll never be able to do it with your pizzazz and your va-va-vu and your ooh la la, okay? They won't be able to do it in that particular way. So I'm going to read this word for word because I looked it up, and I thought it was really interesting, and it's to do with what they're called, snowflakes. And I didn't know this. I don't do science, I teach English, so I didn't know this, so I looked it up. And apparently there are only 35 different forms that a snowflake can take. So you might say, well then the snowflake isn't unique. Okay. No, because there are 35 forms that they can take. But yes, because they are unique on a molecular level. And because the snowflake shape evolves on its journey through the air, no two will ever be the same. So even if two snowflakes fall side by side, and they're floating side by side, each will be blown through different levels of humidity and vapour to create a shape that is truly unique. And I want you to think about how that refers to you. How are you like that snowflake? Well, Today was GCSE results day in the UK, and so I went into school to see how my students had done, and I am a proud teacher. Some of them have absolutely smashed it and done so well, and their next step is just absolutely secured for them. And it made me think that actually they sat in my class, and this would be going from the most, what you might call the most successful student who came out with a grade 9, to what you may consider less successful, who came out with a lower grade. And what it made me think of was each of those students sat in my class and heard the exact same thing. So those two students were alike because they were students, but on a molecular level, as they journeyed through my classroom, they were changed by their experiences. They were changed maybe by what was happening at home for them, by their personalities. So they experienced things in a very different way, and ultimately their outcome was very, very different. They are the same, they are two students. Okay, we could say they're all the same, kids are all the same, but yet their experience changed them on a molecular level. And some of them were exceptionally successful because they put the work in, because they took their uniqueness and they allowed that to shine through by being the very, very best version of themselves that they could possibly be. So we could have had very similar experiences in life, and yet on a molecular level we have seen it from very different viewpoints, which actually makes our experience, or makes us, very unique. Two people can have the exact same thing happen to them, and yet they'll both come out of it with a very different viewpoint. And that's important to note. And it's also important to know that you can choose and decide how you come out the other side of an experience. It is totally up to you. It's all about your mindset. It's all about how you perceive things. So to help you in that sense, to make you probably, to give you something to think about for future reference, and maybe for something for you to say to yourself, almost like a mantra: I am one of a kind. There is no one else like me. Even if you're a twin or a triplet or a quadruplet, I don't know if that's a word, doesn't matter if you're a multiple, doesn't matter if there are 11 of you in your family, you are one of a kind. You are unique with your quirky self and the things that you like and dislike and the way that you interact and see the world. You are one of a kind. That is the secret to you being successful. That is the only secret to being successful, is being yourself. Because if you copy somebody else, you're going to end up just being a very poor imitation, a very poor replica. So today was day 4. If you liked what I had to say, comment, subscribe, give me a like on the video. Again, I apologise about the sound quality in terms of it being a very windy day. And then next time, join me when I'm going to talk about courage, why we all have it and how we can access it. Thank you for joining me. You take care, and I'll see you on the other side.